Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. Oh, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new life.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Goat Locker Racing Summer Series here on V-Speed. Boy, we're glad to have y'all all here tonight and looking forward to some amazing racing. And boy, we are still racing ovals, but we're going to do something a little bit different. And we're going to jump right in to some IndyCars, boy, and it is going to be a blast. All presented by Lincoln Tech University. Put your potential to work. Well, I'm Eddie Smith, and we are here on V-Speed, and we're getting ready for a fantastic race. It's going to be new to all of us. It's going to be really, really interesting. I got some learning to do, but these guys are going to teach me on the track, and boy, do we have plenty to go around. We got plenty of bodies to destroy here tonight in these cars, as we've got 27 drivers for the first race of the season here at Iowa Speedway. Well, qualifying is getting ready to go off, and I want to watch these guys go around the track. So we're going to jump right into qualifying, and we don't really have too much to talk about. We haven't done any races yet, so let's go ahead and jump right in, and let's watch these guys that go around this track and see what it's like to race these cars. It's going to be new to a lot of us, some of the viewers, and some of you know what's going on. So, hey, that's good. We're all going to find out together right now watching Tyler Justice. He comes out of pit road. So many things to talk about this IR18, the Dallara. It's a, DW12 chassis. It's got the IR18 is denotes the aero package that has been added to this car. This car has been around since 2012, and you can see all the different things about this car. It's got the big front windshield, a major safety innovation for sure. So yeah, a lot of really cool things about this car. We won't give it to you all right now, but we'll go over it as the race goes on. As we watch Tyler Justice put down his first lap, takes him up to the top of the board. We'll see how he can improve on the second lap. Drabick goes right to the top of the scoring pylon. We'll see as Tyler crosses the line if he's able to improve, and he does. Right up, back up to the top of the board. As Patrick Drabick's going to come across, if he was able to improve, he wasn't. So Tyler Justice will hold on to this spot for now. Going board with Jacob Ellingson. These cars extremely fragile, but you see those wings on it, so much downforce that these things can put out. You can see actually Jacob Ellingson get a little wiggle. These short tracks put on some fantastic racing. IndyCar does ovals, big super speedway, a little bit smaller speedways like Iowa, Phoenix, those type of tracks. And then of course you got the Indy Oval. Then they go to road courses, purpose-made road courses, and then street courses, which all just kind of make you have to really up your skill set. You have to continue to get better, practice all kinds of things in these cars, learn every single, discipline to be good in the IndyCar series. If you're going to win this championship, you're going to have to be good at all of it. So watching Cameron Weisenberg as he's going around to make his first lap. And you can see all the things on the screen, on their steering wheel. It's a big difference from NASCAR. I mean, Goat Locker's historically been a NASCAR oval, and you really can't make any changes with a fixed setup. But what's really cool here is you can see those the red bordered numbers down there. Now we won't actually get to see, I don't think, in a replay on the broadcast, but those numbers are adjustments they can make in the car. You can see right there, Cameron really tight off the exit to 4. It's going to kill his lap time. But that's something that they're going to have to do. You cannot just, he does a little donut. You have to watch Robert Barber come out on the track. They can make those adjustments throughout the race as needed to help the car turn, and dirty air is going to be a major factor with that, with how much downforce these cars put out. It needs it. And if you're got a car in front of you, that downforce goes away, and you get that aero wash. That the car gets extremely tight. So they're going to have to work those controls, use that weight jacker and the front and rear anti-roll bars to make those adjustments, help the car turn. Whoever does that the best will end up winning this race for sure, because it is very difficult to navigate traffic. And Tyler Justice, looks like we got to see the pole winner there, because he was able to hold on to the spot for now. We're still waiting on a few drivers to go out. Mark McCreary, Timothy Stubblefield, and Tanner Bethea. I just don't know if they're going to have enough time. About a minute left in this thing. So I'll tell you what, let's bring in Patrick Drabick, and let's talk a little bit about this Lincoln Tech series. Patrick, man, what a really awesome thing we got going on with Goat Locker. Y'all have put so much work into it, and what a fun way of kind of introducing a lot of new things going on, which is to have an IndyCar series in this summer series. First off, how's the car driving tonight, and how you feeling about this series?
Man, I'm just as excited as you are, Eddie, to get these new partnerships that we've gotten over the last few months. Lincoln Tech being one of the very big ones here to put together this IndyCar series, which is a little different here for Goat Locker Racing. So I think we're all learning a little bit, but I know Iowa pretty well. I feel pretty comfortable behind the wheel of this '07 Lincoln Tech car. So I'm looking forward to a damn good race tonight.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that Lincoln Tech partnership. I mean, just it's new to Goat Locker. We have a lot of really great partners here at Goat Locker. But talk a little bit about Lincoln Tech and this IndyCar series.
Yeah, so as we continue to build the nonprofit and we continue to do the great things that we're doing outside of iRacing, one of the biggest steps we've made is our partnership with Lincoln Tech, which is one of the country's leading automotive technology schools. They came on board a few months ago to help sponsor our mobile simulator, which is being built right now. But the big event that's coming up, which is on June 22nd, here at the Indianapolis campus, they are hosting a car show. And every year that they host this car show, they pick a nonprofit that all the proceeds go towards. And Goat Locker Racing is that nonprofit. So they're at that car show. We're going to have our race trailer, our actual stock car, our mobile simulator. Of course, we're going to have shirts and hats and all kinds of stuff. And then a lot of the Goat Locker Racing families coming together. So it has been really, really cool with this partnership. And I can't be more happy to put this series together, to put this car on track, just to kind of show this whole thing off. And so hopefully a lot of guys from Lincoln Tech are tuned in and watching tonight, because we're going to put on a hell of a show, and cannot wait for this car show coming up on June 22nd.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us. Good luck out there tonight, Pat.
Thanks, Eddie.
Atcha Drabbit. He is the one of the owners here, partners in Goat Locker. And let's go ahead. We got grids to do. Well, I feel like I've been out of practice, so we're going to jump right into it. We'll try to get this done before they get rolling. Tyler Justice on the front row with Charlie Harkle in that second position. In third, Ryan Pendleton and Scott Rankin outside of row number 2. Row number 3 is Robert Barber with Levi McCarty in 6th position. In 7th, Jacob Ellingson, Patrick Drabbit in 8th. 9th is going to be Nathan Graham with Graham, yeah, I don't know. Alan Marshall in the 10th position. I'll get some ugly PMs about that one. Jeremy Gardner in 11th. Scott Phelps in 12th. 13th, James Kaufman with Mike Browning in 14th. 15th, going to be Brian Provo, Jake Ham in 16th position. Jacob Denson in 17th. 18th, Stephen Bartlett. 19th, Jonathan Barker with Matt Knight to round out your top 20. 21st, Warren Clayton and Cameron Weisenberg in 22nd. 23rd is Michael McCarthy and Mark McCrary in 24th. The road. Brandon Evans going to roll off in 26th. I don't think he had a great qualifying effort. Jennifer They going to start in 27th. And then rounding out the field, I don't know what's going on. Timothy Stubblefield rounds out your grid. Well, all right. Well, let's jump into the race analysis. I don't know. I think we do 2 laps here, so we'll find out. You see right there, that is 110 laps is what we got going on here tonight. Pit road speed, 40 miles an hour. Four tire sets available, and I think 3 green-white checkers. We'll find that out. You know, I don't know if they really call it in IndyCar 3 green-white checkers, but hey, I think that's what they normally set. We'll see if they decide to do that. Could not find that info. 75% fuel load. Fixed setup at a fuel run is about 50 laps. That's your race analysis. This race is going to go by pretty quickly, I would imagine. So if you're going to be up front, if you're going to try to win this race, you're going to have to get it and get it quickly for sure. But I'm excited to see how this plays out. Now, what do I expect in this race? Well, I expect it to be a little bit messy, if I'm honest. And that's just because, you know, Goat Locker has historically been a NASCAR trucks, ARCA, Xfinity. This is a whole different beast. IndyCar is a very, very tough type of racing. So we'll see how these guys adapt to it quickly. I would expect it to be messy. So if you see it that way, hey, just know that everybody is trying to get acclimated. We got 28 drivers here tonight. So green flag is out here in the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series. And Tyler Justice gets out to a great jump with Ryan Pendleton going to take over at that second position as they go barreling down into turn 1. And you can see guys getting pretty major runs there, but having to lift, that's a big part of this series, I would imagine, is you're going to have to take your time. Don't push too hard. Don't get too aggressive. And as soon as I say that, somebody's 3 wide back here. That's Nathan Graham. They almost make contact there off of turn number 3 as Patrick Drabbit gets a really nice run off the top side. And you can see already, I mean, we've got 3, almost 4 lanes going on here. Everybody keeping it clean so far as Tyler Justice has got the lead. And Ryan Pendleton is closing in, though, as he's got that run. Tyler had to get out of it and wasn't able to hold on to it. And Ryan Pendleton will go right to the front. And a look on board with Ryan Pendleton. He's got his little wheel setup. You see a lot of these guys have purpose-built formula wheels. They're a lot like what you see in the hands of the virtual driver there, with all the information stuff on their screens. And that's how they can make those adjustments on the fly. Oh, I think Alan Marshall has had some sort of issue. Take a look real quick. Alan Marshall is slow on the track. And, oh, you can see that rear wing is tore up on that thing. He is not. Oh, the left front bouncing all around. That's the number 82 of Alan Marshall. And no fast repair here tonight. So, unfortunately for Alan, that is going to do it for him. That Valvoline machine made it about 5 laps. And that's just that's just how it goes. It is a tough series. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened to Alan. Didn't make a little bit of contact with the wall there. See him in that Valvoline car in the center of your screen, and we'll see what exactly happened. Gets into the wall. Oh, makes contact. Don't know who exactly that was, but contact. And around it goes. So, and I think more drivers. Brandon Evans has had some sort of issue. He's out of this thing. On board here with Brandon Evans. He was mired back in traffic, and that is such a tough place to be. Oh, you can see him catch up, and oh man, they checked up right in front of him, and those brakes, you see how good they are. He just goes around, and that will be the end of his race. Right now, Ryan Pendleton out to a half a second lead, which I'm actually surprised by, but that tire wear going to be a factor throughout the race. Is a couple drivers having some issues, but I think a lot of guys will have issues. We won't show everybody having problems going on. We don't want to go back and watch replays of everybody having some issues. But right now, I'm going to watch Patrick Drabick. Tried to go to the inside, tried to make a move. We'll see how this car is driving. He's taking that inside line. These other guys in front of him, that's Levi McCarty. Robert Barber right in front of him, running that upper lane. Now, normally in, you can see Patrick getting really tight off the bottom. Might be something to consider with that outside line. Doesn't have such a tight radius. These cars are so glued to the track that any little bit, you're just not able to rotate the car with the throttle like in a stock car. And you can see, I don't know who that is coming out on track. It might be somebody in a Valvoline. That's not Alan Marshall, though. But a lot of these guys still going to try to figure out this car, how it works. See Brian Provo behind Patrick Drabick in that gold and black. He has definitely figured it out. He is up 7 spots from where he started. He's going to just drive right around Patrick Drabick like it's nothing. But a lot of these guys are going to have to take some time and figure this info out. What these in-car adjustments, they are absolutely necessary. You cannot forego those. You're going to have to spend a lot of time learning what those adjustments do, learning how good they are, how much you can do without upsetting the balance of the car, and figure out what situation you need to make those changes. If you're out front, you're going to have that weight jacker right, probably balanced, and then when you're in traffic, you're going to go up on it. You're going to go positive. If the car is feeling a little bit loose, you can drop it down into the negatives, and that'll do a couple things. On the bigger speedways, that'll give you more speed down the straightaways. So there's a lot you can play with here. I think that's a really cool thing about this series, is that you're able to, even with a fixed setup, make adjustments to make your car better throughout the run, which is something we can't do in a stock car. So, which is something I would love to see. Come down pit road, make a couple air pressure adjustments, but these are different. These are in-car adjustments that these guys can make. And man, look at Provo getting right to the back bumper of Robert Barber. But a pretty good race, no cautions so far. We've had a lot of people with some issues, so I wonder if cautions are manual, which I think would have been a fantastic idea. So shout out if that is the case. We haven't seen a track blocker. A lot of it just solo incidents. Scott Felt's now out of the race. Cameron Wisenberg is now a lap down. So few drivers really struggling here, but Provo, not one of them. Hear him shift down in the corner. Even though these cars are different, they still will burn the tires up, and you have to take care of them. Provo obviously pushing the issue with that right front. That right front on ovals is always so important, because that's, you load up on the right front on entry and on exit, and you're not able to, they almost bang wheels down the straightaway. We'd love to see that. But now he's trying to figure out a way to get around Barber. He's going to drive deep into the corner, go up the track, push a little bit. Barber going to look back down to the inside. We'll see if Barber can take that spot back, and I think Provo is going to have that preferred line coming off of 4, and here comes Patrick Drabick with a run. We'll see if he can get to the inside of Barber. He's going to look down there to the inside, and there you see Jeremy Garner now joining this battle. Well, I can tell you in this series, I got a lot. I'm so excited. I love to see new stuff. You see Drabick pull right up in front of Gardner. Gardner had a run, elected not to use it, but I'm excited for this series for so many reasons. I love to see different styles of racing in IndyCar. NASCAR has multiple different, aero packages, but it feels like Indy has just got wild differences between tracks. Speedways, shorter tracks, and then road courses, street courses, all have different. Oh, it's Patrick Drabick. It gets right to that left rear tire of Jeremy Gardner. Barely avoided that, as Gardner now looking, see if he can get around Robert Barber. That inside just seems to really struggle, as you're not able to keep the RPMs up. So Barber really running a defensive line right up against the wall. That's forcing Jeremy Gardner to go down to the inside and try to make something happen. Still looking down to the inside, being patient as much as he can. Right now, Barber just trying to stop the bleeding. He's dropped a couple spots where he started and tried not to have any issues. So is Warren Clayton, has had some sort of issue. He is all on the track, and multiple drivers involved. It's like Timothy Stubblefield involved in that one, and caution. First caution of the night here out on lap 28. Yeah, you can see, I think that's Stubblefield up there against the wall. So Timothy Stubblefield, Warren Clayton, both of these drivers going to be out of this thing. That is major damage. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened to these two. Watching Warren Clayton, and coming off of 4, he talked a little bit before the race and was saying, ooh, this thing is a little bit loose off of turn 4, and holy shit, crap. Look at Timothy Stubblefield flying through the air. Well, we got to get an onboard camera of that. Let's go back and look at this one more time. On board with Timothy Stubblefield. Watch as he goes for a ride here off of 4. Warren Clayton gets loose off the bottom, then going to cut right back on the track. And, I mean, you look. These things do not weigh much at all, and boy, he went for a ride. Watch it one more time for that beautiful effect. Kind of slow it down as he's going to get him right here. Watch this. Catches him, and just, my goodness, up into the catch fence he goes. It lands right on the driver's head. Thank goodness they have that windshield, that halo, because this virtual guy would be in serious trouble. Well, first caution of the night. Everybody comes down pit road. Now, pit stops here on the oval side, just normal oval tires. No special things here. I mean, the big special thing about IndyCar at ovals to remember is just those in-car adjustments that they can make, the weight jacker. All that stuff's really important to be able to navigate traffic, get up through the field, make passes, and do it without really damaging the car, as far as the tires, wearing those things out. So, that's what's so big about these oval races. Now, once we get to the road course, which I'm very, very excited about, is the different tires. At the road courses, you're going to have a primary tire and you're going to have an alternate tire. You're going to have a red and black. That's the best way to remember it. Red is for grip and black is for longevity. And so these guys on the road courses will be able to switch those tires out depending on their pit strategy, and they're going to have to change sets of tires at least one time. So they're going to have to go down and change it to the alternates, or from the alternate to the primary in those races. So that'll add some interesting strategy. We'll see exactly how that plays out. But also, they're going to have push to pass, which they don't have on ovals, which I think that would be pretty crazy to see. I'd love to see that, but don't have push to pass. But on the road courses, they will have a couple push, I don't know how many, maybe 10, 15, depending on what Ryan sets it up as. Push to passes to give you a large boost and helps you make passes down the straightaway into passing zone. So, or if you save them, you can make up some really fast lap times towards the end of the race. So I'm excited to see all kinds of strategies, but here in these ovals, it's all about those in-car adjustments, managing your traffic, getting out front. Ryan Pendleton knew he had to get out front quickly. As you know, the longer you stay back there, you're having to do a lot more adjustments. The right front is going to get eaten up more and more. So it's important that you get out front if you can get that clean air. That's where the car drives its best. Now, at a track that's as short as this, you might actually see some lap traffic, which could play a factor in Ryan's ability to stay up front. So we're all going to learn together. It's going to be exciting. This is going to be a fantastic season. And while we're waiting, as we do get the 1 to green, we'll take a look at your schedule for this series and Iowa Speedway. Then you got the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, which I think is a great track for these cars. Then we'll hit the Indy track, which you just have to do. I think it would be a sin. I think the God himself would come down and smite us all if we had an IndyCar series and didn't take it on the Indy Oval. And then Long Beach, and I'll tell you what, if you don't want to race Long Beach, at least watch the broadcast. It's one of the most beautiful tracks on the service, and you definitely want to come back and check that out. So I'm actually really excited about Laguna Seca as well. That's one of my favorite tracks of all time. So this is going to be a great season. You're going to catch it all on V-Speed, and we're glad to bring it to you. Now, single file restarts, something new if you're not aware. That's the way it's done in IndyCar, so that makes track position even more important because you're not able to double up on these restarts. Ryan Pendleton will have control. He's going to get a great jump with Scott Rankin right behind him in his toe. And Stub Nation in chat, oh, yeah, what a bad time to join as he goes flying up into the catch fence and takes an early exit, but does it in spectacular fashion. Oh, somebody's in the wall. Charlie Harcum gets into the wall, and he's going to lose part of his front wing, I believe. And sometimes iRacing doesn't correctly model everything, so it looks like maybe it was a glitch, but oh, we do have a caution. Oh man, Mike Browning and Jake Ham collide in massive damage on these cars, and that brings out our second caution of the night. Let's take a look and see what happened. A little bit of contact right in front of them. Can't see who that was, but they lost part of their car, and then Jake Ham right behind him, and oh man, oh my goodness, he goes for a ride too. Well, I'll tell you what, these are spectacular crashes. I like this. It's good for the replay. Let's go on board, Jake Ham. Gonna get a lot of onboard shots that go flying through the air. You see the check up there, and then going into the corner. Fortunately for Mike, he's gonna step out a little bit. May have a little bit of damage here. Watch this. Whoop. Lord have mercy, bless him. You see, he's able to get that thing rolling, but unfortunately, without that fast repair, it's all she wrote. Ryan Pendleton continues to lead. Now, they just pitted a few laps ago, so that anybody that pit, which is pretty much the whole field, will be able to make it on just one more stop. So when will that one stop be? Well, we'll have to find out all together. But so far, what I've seen is Ryan Pendleton has come to win these races. He was really, really good in the lead up to this series. Had a couple practice races. Had one at the Indy Road Course, and then I believe at Auto Club. And he was lights out fast at the Indy Road Course. I think he won by almost 20 seconds over second place. So I think if you're looking for a man to beat, Ryan Pendleton is going to be that guy. Scott Rankin, I know he's very good at these type of cars. Be interested to see what he does on a road course. But so far, Brian Provo has been the most exciting driver coming up through the field. Has been able to make passes and put his car where it needs to be, and he looks pretty good to boot. Another driver that is moving up through the field is Michael McCarthy. Started all the way back in 23rd, is up into the top 10 in that Liquid Death, number 9, Delara. And man, I'll tell you, he has also been putting in the work. Mark McCrary as well is up 11 spots from where he started. So a lot of drivers able to make their way cleanly through the field. You know, it's a lot like a super speedway race in a way where you just really want to keep the car clean if all possible. Take a look at the track temp. The track temp has actually gone down. The air temp 68 degrees. Track temp 117. It was about 123 during practice. So, I don't know if that's good or bad. You know, normally when the track temp goes down, it gets more grip as the track gets cooler, which unfortunately in these cars makes it a little bit tighter, I think. But you don't want these cars to get loose. Mike Browning has kind of shown us that. You want to be pretty secure. So, with the adjustments you can make in a car, those track differences is something you have to keep up with as well. And Ryan Pendleton being out front, he still has to consider those type of changes, especially if we were to go to a transition from day to night. He would need to be on top of that to make sure his car stays caught up with the racetrack. Actually, well, one thing I forgot to do is I think our grid or poll award is the Big Fish Motorsports barbecue. Big Fish barbecue, excuse me. And so I want to shout them out. They were supposed to be shout out during the grid, but that's okay. We got them in. Definitely appreciate Logan over there for his sponsorship of this series. Got a lot of sponsors here in Goat Locker, and always appreciative. All right, getting the one to go, and we'll go back green in just a moment. I want to shout out our sponsors real quick. Lincoln Tech, of course, Invets, Relevant Sounds, Big Fish Barbecue, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, new partners as Alexander PC, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, to add to the cavalcade of sponsors that Goat Locker has acquired, and partners that they want to continue to provide veterans all kinds of support. But we're getting ready to go green here. And a great jump for Scott Rankin, as Ryan did not quite get away as well as he did last time, but they go screaming down into turn 1 and 2. And Rankin getting up to the inside. He makes contact with Ryan Pendleton. Went down into turn 1 and put the nose in there, and boy, that car is not going to be driving well. We saw the damage as that happened. We'll see how bad it is. Let's go back and watch that real quick. Ryan got a little tight off the corner, and Scott Rankin drove down to the corner. Yeah, and you can see a piece of that rear wing came off. Scott Rankin will take over the top spot. We'll see if he's got any damage. Watch on board on this replay with Rankin. Yeah, I mean, just the slightest of touches. And he goes around. So now, unfortunately for Ryan Pendleton, he is now going to be back in the 8th position. And we'll see if that damage is bad enough. It's, this damage model has looked really weird here. Normally, all those wings are in place for a reason. They didn't put stuff on here for no reason, for sure. It's all supposed to be on there, but we saw some fly off. But the car seems to be handling okay. So I don't know if he's got a lot of damage. At this point, he is in some mess. Watch this. Yeah, it looks like, caution is out on the speedway. And I'm not really sure who the caution is out for. It looks like Cameron Wisenberg might have been slow. We'll take a look real quick and see if that's who it was. Looks like it might have been Jacob Ellingson. Go back a little bit further. Yeah, I think it was. In that red and white machine there. Trying to see what happened to the 27. He's pushing off the corner, and I don't know who exactly that is. Still gonna take me some time to learn who the cars are. Like Stephen Bartlett is who gets in the back of it. I mean, I don't blame Stephen not one bit. Once you get into the gas in these cars, it's not like you can stop. We saw Brandon Evans spin out trying to slow down, and although Stephen did kind of gas up there, I don't know. He maybe could have lifted a little bit there, but Jacob was in trouble and had to really lift to come off the gas there. So Bartlett is on pit road getting some damage fixed, and Scott Rankin will take over the lead after that damage with Ryan Pendleton. And Pendleton goes down pit road. We'll see if maybe we can talk to Ryan if we have enough time. Just see how bad the damage is. We're not going to sit here and... Ryan, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Eddie. What's going on?
Well, man, a little bit of contact with Scott Rankin there, but we're not here to talk about that. We're not trying to make any drama. But we do want to know how the car is. Is the car okay? We saw a piece fly off of it. How does that car feel right now?
I think the car's fine. It's tough because this is my first time actually back in some traffic, so we'll see. It's obviously nice and clean air, but yeah, we'll see. I think it's okay. He hit me, back there under the starter, so wonder how his car's doing. But yeah, it was a good bump. I'm just glad I didn't get put in the wall with no fast repair. So we got some fuel. Now we're gonna have to play some strategy and track position game, but see what we got. Made it more fun for sure.
All right. Well, good luck. We just wanted to see an update on the car because we saw a piece fall off, but it sounds like it's in good shape. So good luck, Ryan. We'll
just lighter now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. Ryan Pendleton. Seemed like he's okay. He's all smiles, and that is good. That's what we're here to do, have fun. And so he's going to be in the 12th position, and Scott Rankin now going to take over the lead as we are not quite to halfway, almost, though. Just a few laps to go to halfway. And so far, been a pretty exciting race. Hope y'all are enjoying the action. Want to talk about other sponsors, of course, are sponsors like Jam Printing and Promotions, Veterans for Life, Cruising Classics, all these that have been around forever, Red Beard Designs. I'm really spouting sponsors off the top of my head, so if I forgot one, don't eat me. So a little bit of fuel strategy, says Ryan Pendleton. Now that he's back in traffic, he is going to be 18 laps on fresher tires, 18 laps better on fuel. Now, another thing about these cars that you can actually do that you'll hear a lot, especially on the ovals, is you have different engine maps that you can fiddle with to help with fuel saving. Now, the maps do all kinds of different things. There's 8 of them, and quite a few of them just have full power, but they just kind of give you a little bit more throttle in certain areas, the way the throttle is applied to the rear tires. So largely a lot of them do the same thing, just a little bit different driver preference, but there is a couple that allow you to save fuel as we get on these big tracks, with draft being a huge thing. Think of the Indy 500 where everybody's driving in a line. Those will be important if you're going to save tires. May not always be beneficial to be out front. Under caution, though, they run map 8, which is the lowest setting. It's going to save the most fuel. So a lot of them having to go in there and switch over to map 8 to make sure they save as much fuel as possible. Then they have to remember to switch it back down as they go green. So I think this is a lot of fun. It's exciting to see how these guys are going to have to navigate all the controls. You have to bind a bunch of buttons that you haven't bound before. So Really, really cool. Scott Rankin, though, controlled the restart. Brian Provo, who has made a monster run through the field, is now in second. We'll see what he can do here on this restart. Scott Rankin gets a great jump. Provo, don't know if he spun the tires or just did not get through the gears as well as Robert Barber. Going to go right down to the inside. Can he hold on to it? No. And open the door for Patrick Drabick. Barber tries to go up and stop that run, but Drabick snuck up there really quickly as Provo takes over the lead, or he's trying to. A little bit too tight off of 4, and he's going to lose a lot of momentum. Look at the momentum. He was not able to clear Rankin, and now he is back into the clutches of Tyler Justice on that outside, and you can see Provo really tight off the corner. Jumps up to the outside to try to get back in line and get that momentum built back up. But we've seen a lot of drivers having issues on the exit of 4. Some loose, some tight. That's where that weight jacker is going to come into play as he gets right to the left rear tire of Tyler Justice and able to avoid it. Boy, this is some racing going on right here. These guys are getting wild. These tires are a little bit older, 25 laps here on these tires, and you better be thinking about it as Patrick Drabick gets tight right there, and Robert Barber has to take evasively. A lot things happen really fast here. I don't know if I can. I'm from Mississippi, y'all. I don't think I can talk fast enough to keep up with the action. Because look at Levi McCarty now coming up through this as these guys having to check up, slow up. That's bringing other drivers into the fold. As Levi now going to go to the outside of Patrick Drabick, and you can see him right on the exit, trying to keep that momentum up the best he can. Now going to drive down to the inside. As long as you can use the whole track, it's not a bad thing to go down to the bottom. But anytime you get side by side, we've seen that exit of 4 and 2 be so tight that it's difficult to make those passes. So Brian Provo has gotten himself back in order and now is looking to get back to second place. He was battling for a lead just a few laps ago, and now he's back here in third. So that's how quickly things can happen at these tracks, and I think that's why Indy is such a wild series at these intermediate tracks. I'm not really sure if Iowa is considered a short track. I can't call it that. It's more of a speedway. I think of it sort of like Phoenix and others. But Provo now going to go down the inside. Does he have the run that he needs to? Oh, they almost banged doors, and a nice little move there to keep Tyler from being able to turn down into the corner. But I think Provo expected him to be up on the high side, and Tyler was trying to pitch him down a little bit, but Provo is going to have the run off of 4 and now try to run down Scott Rankin, who is out to a second lead over Brian Provo. So much nicer out front, and then you catch the end of the field, and you can see already some lap traffic ahead of Scott Rankin. We've seen everything happen so fast. Lap cars can come up on you quick, and you have to be able to take evasive action. Down to the inside goes Scott Rankin, able to get around Mike Browning without any issue, as he is going to continue to extend his lead here as we are over halfway in this race. Ryan Pendleton not been able to make up too much ground. That's that clean air. Now, we still don't know how much damage he has, so I don't know if it's affecting him as much. But he does have fresh tires, but just not able to do really anything with it at the moment. Charlie Harcum putting up a fight here. This is for 9th and 10th. You can see Ryan not able to really do much of anything. As here comes Jonathan Barker now looking to the inside. Mike Browning going to pull off in that white and orange machine, as Pendleton still on the back bumper of Harcum trying to make this work. Take sort of a mid-line here, but you can see he's still getting tight off the exit and just kills your momentum. Everybody's running sort of the upper lane, trying to keep that momentum up, and you can see when you lose it and you have to lift just a little bit, how quickly things change. And up for second place, Tyler Justice putting on a show, not going to let Provo get away as they continue to battle for this second place. We'll go back just a little bit further. We're 3 wide back here. Who is that? Somebody I think it's a lap car. I believe that's Scott Phelps. Scott Phelps, I think, pretty sneaky good here in these cars. So just having a rough night here. As we watch Robert Barber, Patrick Drabick, they have found each other all night long. Patrick, of course, running the Lincoln Tech machine. He's going to slide up in front of Robert. Robert going to do the crossover down to the inside. And it is so killer if you guys continue to do, not you guys, but if drivers continue to do this back and forth. It's, oh, they've made contact in the front wing of Patrick Drabick. The right front wing is gone, and we can definitely see where it is out of there. And that little bit of contact was all it took. And he is going to drop like a rock. That front end not responding anymore. You can see he's not able to carry the speed. He's going to have to come down pit road. I want to say in Indy, they're able to change the front wing. So I wonder if on the pit road, they're able to do that. And we'll kind of watch Patrick here and see if he does come down pit road. I mean, he's going to have to. He might be trying to wait for a caution at the moment, but I think got to come down and just go ahead and get that fixed. It looks like he's going to stay out on track, but that car is not in good shape. Just continues to fall through the field outside the top 10 in 12th now. We'll keep an eye on it if he does as we continue to watch this battle. Jeremy Gardner on more contact. Robert Barber now without a front wing. Well, I say that, and his wing came off, but it came back. So a little bit of contact was made. But it looks like iRacing, I really can't tell at the moment if he is having any trouble or not, or if this car is okay. Doesn't seem to be driving near as good as it was, but sometimes iRacing throws some damage, and it's just a visual bug. And it'll actually kind of repair itself almost. And so I can't really tell. Robert did lose a good amount of time to Jeremy Garner, but seems to be able to stay up to speed versus like Patrick Drabick, who, I mean, he is still falling through the field at just a snail's pace. He's some 2.5 seconds off of everyone else's times. And yeah, so Robert Barber, looks like his was just a visual bug. That front wing is still intact, and he's still battling as Levi not able to complete that pass. So a little inconsistency there with that damage model. That's odd, but we see how quickly things can go wrong. Is you really have to take care of those front ends. Gonna have to find that safe zone where you can put that car. As my goodness, these sliders is unbelievable. And Levi makes contact. I think he's lost the front wing now. That contact, Levi McCarty now. A lot of these guys, and I don't want to assume everybody's experience, but a lot of these folks not used to how this goes. A lot of times somebody comes up in front of you, you just kind of run into them in the NASCAR cars, and here that's kind of what he does. And yeah, that front right wing, you saw it just kind of flies off. And now he is going to be in big trouble along with Patrick Drabick. So these drivers, that's how quickly things can change here. You don't have a fast repair. So you have to give a little bit more room than I think what we're used to. So right there, that was definitely a stock car type move. Slide up in front of me, I'm going to hit you. And unfortunately for Levi, you could see just how bad that car handles when you're missing downforce on that front tire. Up front, though, it is still Scott Rankin out to a 1.6 second lead. He is dealing with traffic at the moment, but it doesn't seem to be an issue. But Ryan Pendleton has made his way back up into the 6th position, so he is moving up. He's 6.1 seconds behind the leader, Scott Rankin. We got about 30 laps to go. Ryan said before the race, in these ovals, fuel strategy is a big deal. So we'll see what he's got cooking up here, if he can make it to the end or not. He's got to stop one more time, and regardless, he's going to come down pit road and have to take way less fuel than anybody else to make it to the end. They're right around lap 54, and if they can make it to 60, I think Ryan Pendleton might be able to make it to the end. We saw him take a while to get up through the field, even with fresher tires, but he has slowly been, he's still a little bit off the pace, so I wonder if he is not saving fuel trying to make it to the end. So we'll see what goes on. We watch Levi McCarty come down pit road, and we'll see if they're able to put a front wing on the cars. And I'm really showing my ignorance here because I really don't know. And looks like they are able to. So very cool. So front wings are replaceable, even though there's no fast repair. If you do get a front wing knocked off there, you're able to go down pit road and get a new one, just like in real life. So very cool. Took him a little bit of time. About 8 seconds has been a normal pit stop. Took about 14 there to replace a front wing. So that's good info. So if you do make some contact like that, your race is not over. So that is really cool. Up front, Jeremy Gardner has been moving through the field, but here comes Tyler Justice down pit road. Guys are going to start making their pit stops here as they get close to lap 60. Pit limiters, something that we don't have in NASCAR that I think is pretty cool. They go down, they get down to pit road speed, and they can hit a button, and it will keep them at that speed. So don't have to worry about speeding here, only on entry if you try to make up too much ground on entry, which if you watch. Oh, caution is out. Caution is out. Somebody, Brian Provost, spinning on pit road. But I don't know who the caution was for. And I think it might have been Robert Barber. Well, that changes a lot here. Go back and see if we can find out what happened. Oh, it was Robert Barber. Coming out of pit road, and that is a danger zone, especially on cold tires, and that's exactly, he's trying to make up a little bit of ground, and when he does, goes around. So, caution comes out, and for Scott Rankin, I think this is probably a negative, because a lot of guys just came down pit road, and we'll see if anybody was able to stay on the lead lap. I don't know. Brian Provo, we saw him spinning out. He was on pit road. He is a lap down, so he's going to take a wave around. So Scott may be able to get down pit road, come off with fresh tires for him. Ryan Pendleton also coming down pit road to get fresh tires and get back on that same cycle. I think he would have made it. I think that was going to be an interesting ending to the race. Ryan Pendleton, I think, had enough fuel to make it all the way to the end with that pit stop. About 30 laps, about 20, 25 laps, maybe 30 before everybody else. I think he had enough to make it, but now it really doesn't matter. Now you're in range of Scott Rankin. Jeremy Gardner has fought his way up to second, and I think it's going to be a pretty big heavyweight battle. Scott Rankin, once he made contact with Ryan Pendleton, was able to hold on to this lead. Nobody was really able to do much with him, but it's all going to change now. So I think we're going to see the aggression level obviously pick up here as we're under 20 laps to go. We're going to be probably go green with about 15 to 16 laps to go in this race, and it is going to be a wild one. So, hey, strap in. If you're not sitting down, I would, because it's going to get wild. Of course, it's the perfect time to say, hey, if you're not subscribed to V-Speed, even if you're watching over on the Goat Locker page on Facebook, which is if you're on Facebook, if you prefer Facebook, we've had some people reach out and say, I'd like to be able to show, link the stream to somebody on Facebook or be able to watch it on Facebook. It's hard to find stuff on YouTube. Different age groups have different preferred platforms. So if if somebody who's got Facebook, you want to share it, go on over to the Goat Locker Racing Facebook page. All of our streams here from V-Speed on Tuesday nights will be on that Facebook page as well. So might be a cool link to shoot out to somebody, share it, have them like and share that page, and you'll always get Goat Locker broadcasts when they're on V-Speed. I would imagine National 360 going to do the same thing. But, of course, you can always subscribe here on V-Speed. We sure do appreciate it. I think a lot of folks think you subscribe so you make more money. Well, that's not true. At our level, without getting millions of views, you do not get hardly any money for subscriptions. What it does do, though, is get you out front, get your league out in front of more people, more eyeballs, more search results, and it definitely makes a big difference there. So if you're not subscribed, please do. But what can we expect here is we are going to get to 1 to green, and we are going to have just 15, 16 laps here to end this thing. Wave around is going to go around the pace car. Scott Rankin, Jeremy Garner, Ryan Pendleton, Jonathan Barker, Patrick are your your lead lap cars at the moment. Trapped a lot of guys a lap down. Patrick Dravick is in 5th, but he is a lap down here. Those waiver rounds, I would imagine, were multiple laps down. It's easy to go 2 laps down here when you pit under green. So just an untimely caution for a lot of drivers. So 4 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. But here we go. It's all down to this. If you're not in the top 4, you're probably not winning anyway. So we're going to see who is able to get the victory. Can anybody get around Scott Rankin? He's been pretty wild. No, gets a great jump as he goes through the field. See a couple drivers pulling down off the racing line. As here comes a battle for second as Scott Rankin already out to a 6/10 of a second lead as Ryan right to the back bumper of Jeremy Garner, going to dive down to the inside, see if he can clear this. Not going to be able to do it as they go door to door. But there's no door. They're side to side. I don't know. Ryan driving it deep into the corner. Just can't get the rotation he needs. Scott Rankin loving this, as all this is doing is extending his lead every single time they go for a pass. And without another caution, this may be the battle for second, and that's pretty much it. So we'll see if Pendleton can get anything done. Tires starting to come up to temp now. They're going to have a lot of grip and start to make a little bit more moves, but you can see just having a tough time. Actually makes a little bit of contact with the wall there. Going to get a nice run down the straightaway, but not close enough to make an attack. As we got somebody off track. Cameron Wisenberg is slowed down on the front stretch. He's out of the way, so no caution. Battle for second. Ryan Pendleton, after that contact with Scott Rankin, fell all the way back through the field. Has been able to work himself up to the 3rd position. But Jeremy Garner, surprising. I'm not sure if I knew how well he was. Oh, caution is out. Caution is out. Brian Provo and Tyler Justice have made contact. 2 top 5 drivers all night long. Make some contact, and we'll see exactly what happened between these two. Provo just going to get loose, and oh, big hook. And nowhere to go as Tyler Justice goes flipping down the front stretch. These wrecks have been spectacular. Go on board with Tyler Justice here. See a lap car is trying to get around, and watch Provo going to get it stepped out. Maybe have that weight jacker turned a little bit too much. Right here, you're going to get caught right up into the wall and just nowhere to go as he goes for a ride. Holy cow. My goodness. So 2 extremely fast drivers out of this one. Still 4 cars on the lead lap. It's not going to change as these 4 up front are definitely not going to. Oh, it looks like we do have a lucky dog. So I didn't know IndyCar had lucky dogs, and maybe they don't. Maybe Ryan just set it up that way. So Patrick Dravic, with that new front wing, he was able to get down and get that thing changed out. So now Patrick Dravic going to be back into the fray. So top 5 on the lead lap. If you're just joining us, top 5 on the lead lap, only because of a timely caution in the middle of green flag cycles. Now, unfortunately for Patrick, he is going to be behind I believe, every single lap car here. So he's going to need a quick caution if he's going to have an opportunity, because this is what he can see. Just a lot of folks a lap down, and not all of them are slow, that's for sure. They're all pretty quick. So well, as far as up front, I mean, it's going to be it's going to be a restart game. If your Gardner did not have a great restart last time, Rankin was able to get away pretty quickly, and I think Garner actually just did not get going hardly at all. He's going to have a much better restart. Going to have to consider the timing to try to catch Scott Rankin right as he hits the gas if he's going to have a chance here. Scott Rankin has been pretty dang quick since taking the lead, so it's going to take a lot of work to get up there and pass him for this win. But to do that, you're going to have to have a much better restart than he had last time, so we'll see. There's going to be a few laps to go before this thing is over with. Going to get the green flag with about 6 laps to go, it looks like. Does anybody have anything for Scott Rankin? Well, I'll tell you what, this race has been entertaining, for it to be the first one of the season. As far as damaged cars, 12 through 26th is all multiple laps down with damage. And, I said that coming into this. This is new to a lot of folks. These Indy cars are something that's going to take seat time, and you're going to have to learn. We see some guys up front, Scott Rankin, Jeremy Garner, Ryan Pendleton, and a couple drivers, Brian Provo, that have been obviously had some seat time in this, and Jacob Denson, Charlie Harcum, I know they have as well. A lot of these guys just need some seat time to get used to everything. Next week at Mid-Ohio, you're going to see a lot of separation between drivers. So it'll take some time to get used to how these cars react, how they drive, how to make passes, how to do them correctly, kind of get that NASCAR driving style out of yourself for at least one race. So not surprising to see it be so tough on some drivers, but we have seen some guys really take some wild rides, which we love that. 1 to green here. 5 laps to go when we get the green flag. And if you're Scott Rankin, you're just thinking, all right, I got to get the best jump on this restart. If I get out front, nobody's going to touch me. Go on, get this win. But anything could happen. We've already seen it. Well, here we go. 5 laps to go in the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series. First race of the season in Iowa. Scott Rankin with the lead. Can he hold on to it? He does. He gets a great jump. Pendleton not quite able to restart or change lanes before the start-finish line. And Jeremy Garner just really struggling on restarts. Pendleton going to get down to the inside. Might clear Gardner here. Nope, not quite able to do it. Gardner's going to keep the speed up as they are still battling for this second position. That outside line just really too strong right now. Scott Rankin already out to a 9/10 of a second lead over second place. Ryan drives it deep into the corner. Going to have to lift just a little bit as he starts to push. Gives Gardner just a little bit more breathing room. Really nice battle. A couple drivers that are a lap down, but they're battling for position. Jacob Denson, Charlie Harcum battling for 6th and 7th. Ryan Pendleton starting to try to generate a run here to have another go at Jeremy Gardner. But white flag is out for Scott Rankin. One more lap to go. He has got nobody as Jeremy Gardner throws a little block there. Oh, gets really close to the wall. Ryan Pendleton going to have one more opportunity, but not going to make it. Coming off of turn 4, Scott Rankin will win the first race of the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series. Scott Rankin, a late intro to this series. I think he joined the series with about 30 minutes, but he's no stranger to Goat Locker Racing. And there you have it, Scott Rankin. Second one. There's another Scott Rankin somewhere out there. Doing donuts here on the front stretch. We're gonna take a short break. We'll come back for interviews, and we'll get out of here. Be right back. Well, first race in the books here at Iowa Speedway, and Scott Rankin takes the victory. Jeremy Garner comes home in second. Ryan Pendleton comes home in the third position. Jonathan Barker comes home in fourth. Patrick Drabbit able to recover for a top 5. Charlie Harcum, Jacob Denson, one lap down. They were home their own lap, racing it out at the end. Harcum was able to get that position. And Jacob Denson comes home in 7th. Robert Barber comes away with an 8th place finish. Levi McCarty comes away in 9th. Jacob Ellingson in 10th. Matt Knights comes home in 11th. Stephen Bartlett with a great run in 12th position. Mark McCrary in 13th. Tyler Justice, disappointing race for him. At least a disappointing finish. Brian Provo as well. Cameron Weisenberg comes home in 16th. Mike Browning in 17th. Scott Phelps in 18th. Michael McCarthy in 19th. And Jay Cam in 20th. 21st is James Kaufman. Warren Clayton in 22nd. Timothy Stubblefield 23rd. All these drivers multiple laps down with accidents. Nathan Graham in 24th. Brandon Evans in 25th. Alan Marshall 26th. And Tanner They rounds out your results. Well, all right. Well, let's bring in our third place finisher, Ryan Pendleton. Got him up into the booth. Well, Ryan, not what you wanted tonight. I know you're probably disappointed in third place, but the question I do have to ask you though is, could you make it on fuel before that that caution?
Yeah, I could. That final string of cautions there was a bummer after I had to go in the pit that last time because I had it. Yeah, the engine mapped way up, and I was going to make it that last 25, 30 laps, whatever we had left. So I was hoping it was going to stay green, and I was going to kind of strategy my way back up to the front. But yeah, overall, with everything that happened, I'm really happy I was able to finish the race 1 and 2, come away with the podium.
Yeah, well, it seemed like the car was really fast. With it being fixed setup, you're kind of all running the same thing. Weight jacker in front, the front bars and the rear bars, I guess if it's connected, are the only thing you change. And we saw there you got up to Jeremy Garner, but that inside line was just so tough, especially once the tires got up to temp. There was a couple times you almost was able to clear him, but just couldn't quite do it. Going through your head trying to kind of break down that battle. What do you do in that scenario to try to make that pass?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was messing with my anti-roll bars front and rear and the weight jacker, and I almost got in too much and took Jeremy out, which is the last thing I wanted to do. Got in there pretty tight a couple times on him. Yeah, just like you said, it's very tough. They can hold that momentum, especially when those tires are heated up, and it's tough to control it. Send it in. You have to send it in so hard down low, and to get it to stick it's tough. But I don't know if there's much more I could have done. Maybe a few more laps if he would have made a mistake, or it's pretty easy to bobble up there on that high side. But yeah, it was fun to battle with him. I'm glad we both came away okay and finished 2 and 3. But yeah, I don't know what else I could have done with the car. Maybe had a couple more laps. That was about it.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of fun to watch you come up through the field and battle there with Garner side by side for multiple laps. Hey, but I mean, you're the admin of this series. I think tonight, would you say very, very much a success?
Yeah, I couldn't be happier overall. I mean, I know it's week one. I hope guys keep coming out. I think we started off with almost 30 green flag laps with a tough car on, a tough track and conditions that, it's super easy to get out in these Indy cars and run by yourself and just kind of floor it around these ovals. But when you get 27 cars out here and all the aero things going on, the track temp, it's very difficult. So super proud of the guys of the league. I'm not surprised. Hope guys keep coming out. We're going oval road course. So should be something for everyone out there. But yeah, I couldn't be happier for the first night.
Well, man, congratulations on a third place finish. I know you wanted that win, but I think you got plenty to choose from. I think as far as I hope you're hungry because I think it looks like from that schedule you're going to be eating a lot this season. So third place, pretty dang good. It's a lot of fun out there. It seemed like y'all had a really good time. And as always, man, who you got to thank?
Yeah, we have so many new people coming on board with Goat Locker. You're going to hear them this summer. You'll hear them from me right now. But Lincoln Tech, first off, they're sponsoring this series. They're doing a lot more than just sponsor this series. So couldn't be happier to have those guys on board. It's a huge partnership. We're looking forward to letting that continue to grow. InVets is sponsoring one of our series this summer, and Relevant Sound as well. We had so many people coming in. Sim Motion, Alexander PCs, Big Fish Barbecues doing the poll award. So we got all kinds of people supporting us. We're growing fast, and we're able to accomplish our off-track goals because of that. So, of course, as always, we have our sponsors that have been there from the beginning: Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruising Classics, Veterans for Life Foundation, Right Now Roofing. Obviously the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs stepped up huge for us. So everything's just going in the right direction. We have so many people to thank. It's hard to get them all in there, but we're excited about it, and we're going to continue to keep growing and keep doing things for veterans and first responders.
Yeah, and I just want to commend you for trying something different. We've been running trucks, Xfinity, Arca, Cup. I mean, just over and over again, and they're all a lot of fun. But it's so cool to do something different, try something new, and I think definitely success here tonight. So got to commend you for trying something, taking a little bit of risk. That it's going to be tough
Yeah.
sometimes to get people to show up, and I think tonight showed that people are willing to do that. So congratulations for that. Congratulations again on your third place finish.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. We appreciate you for broadcasting that. It's awesome for us. We love watching it. So thank you.
All right. Well, there you have it. Third place, Ryan Pendleton. Well, let's go from third to second, and let's bring in your second place finisher, Jeremy Gardner. Jeremy, this Eddie in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, first off, I want to know how much time have you spent in an Indy car?
Absolutely none. I'm
Well,
literally a truck and a next gen guy.
we saw you. It took a little bit for you to get used to it, but then all of a sudden, you got it figured out, and you're able to make a lot of passes. Tell me, what did you notice right away? What was that learning curve like that took a little bit of time for you to figure out exactly where you wanted to put the car? Talk to me a little bit about that and the differences between the two.
I mean, really, just in practice. I mean, I was just messing around trying to hot lap it, just see how hard I could push it, trying to just trying to art different corners differently and just try to learn it. I didn't know if the tire wear on these things were the same as what I'm used to running, but I mean, it didn't seem like the fall off was too bad. But once I kind of got in my race pace, I calmed down a little bit than I did in practice, and I seemed to kind of build a rhythm and just kind of stay patient, let everybody battle, and just try and go around.
Well, we saw on a couple of those final two restarts, Scott Rankin was able to get away. Maybe a little bit of the inexperience of the difference between the two. What could you have done maybe a little bit different on those restarts to kind of close that gap?
Man, I don't know. I kept trying to start in first, tried second. Second was slow. First will just blow the tires off. I probably could have changed the engine mapping a little bit, but I don't have my stuff set up to where I can change it right back. So it is what it is.
Well, hey, to be able to drive up through the field, start in 11th, finish in second place, that's a pretty good start for you. Now, let's talk about road courses. How are we feeling about Mid-Ohio and these road courses that are coming up? You've got different tire sets to use. You've got push to passes, all kinds of different stuff that us NASCAR drivers are not used to, at least stock car stuff. So tell me about road courses next week, Mid-Ohio. How you feeling about it?
Mid Ohio has been a pretty decent track for me. I'm no means a road course racer, but I like Mid Ohio. I'm definitely looking forward to Long Beach. That's definitely one on my
Yeah.
list. So I think that one's going to be probably the best one of the year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well. Well, congratulations on second place. As always, man, who you got to thank?
Of course, GLR for always putting on great events, man. I mean, this summer series is going to be an absolute blast. I mean, every event they put on's a blast. Pat and Jamie for all they do for the military veteran community. Definitely got a bunch of new sponsors on this for this year. We got Lincoln Tech on, we got Iron Vets on, Relevant Sound, Jam Printing and Promotions. Always, they've been with us for a little bit now. Cruising Classics, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Veterans for Life Foundation, one of my sponsors. I appreciate them for all they do. We got Alexander PCs on board this year. Sim Motion, Next Level Racing. They got hell of a great rig. Definitely iRacing. They've stepped in. That's big for this league for sure. And Big Fish Barbecue.
All right, well, there you have it. Second place, Jeremy Garner with a great run here tonight. And we're going to finish it up. Of course, save the best for last. And that is Scott Rankin, who gets the win here tonight. Scott, this Eddie in the booth got a copy.
Eddie, did you just call me the best?
You're the best tonight.
Man, I didn't know you had compliments for me. We never used to get on when we used to race each other, brother. It's good to see you though. It is really, really good to see you.
Well, hey, look, you had a great night tonight, and you did make a little bit of contact with Ryan early on, but not to stir up any drama. But I think it shows more of how important it is to get out front, get to that clean air. Is that kind of what your thought process was when you're driving really aggressive there, and Ryan was trying to cover it, and y'all made a little contact, but was it just trying to get out to clean air, knowing how important it was?
Absolutely. Well, look, there's two aspects to it. Number one is when the runs come in an IndyCar, particularly when somebody makes a mistake, they are huge. So you've got very little room for error. NASCAR, the car doesn't move, right? So you can be a little bit more aggressive on the steering wheel. You can rub panel to panel, and it's all okay. But this thing, if you touch that side pod, you touch that leading edge of the floor, your night is done. You will be a parachute for the rest of the night. So yeah, look, I mean, it's all on me, first and foremost. In the sim, I actually felt like Ryan chopped me a little bit, but I thought we were deeper into the corner. I've gone back and had a look at him. I spoke to him already about it and said, hey, man, that one's totally on me. I should have been further down the track. I left my turn down too late. So that one's totally on me. As for getting out to clear air, yeah, look, at Iowa, as soon as you got the clear air, it's race over. Nobody should ever be able to overtake the leader at Iowa. The leader's got to be doing something wrong for that to happen. So, look, this is my car. I'm one of the only Australians that's ever had a crack at running in the big leagues in the IndyCar, and this is my car, this is my package, and this is what I'm best at. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully we can expect you to show up every single race, because we'd like to lean on your knowledge a little bit, because a lot of us are just NASCAR folks, so we don't push to pass or wait, Jacker, wait, what? Well, I don't know what's going on here, and so you got all the good info, and we love that. But now we've talked to a lot of guys who are back in traffic, and obviously dirty air is going to be a major factor on speedways. When you get out front, guys are cranking the weight jacker up a little bit, trying to help the cars turn. It's getting tight off the corner. What do you do as the leader when you get out front? how do you make adjustments? Do you leave the car balanced? Do you ever work on adjustments through runs? What do you do as a leader when you got that clean air?
First and foremost, it's very centric on fuel. As the fuel burns out, the car's actually going to get a little bit looser. So you want to come down a little bit and tighten it a little bit up. The other thing is you got to look after those tires, particularly Auto Club. With a hot track at Auto Club is one of the best racing in the IndyCar that you can actually get. After 20 laps worth of run, that rear end is going to get real spicy. So Jack has again got to come down. It's all a balance, man. It's, could you imagine if you're sitting there in a stock car and you go, okay, across the course of the run, my car is going to get really, really tight. We just got tools that just help us manage that. You want to loosen the car up for running in the dirty air, and then you want to tighten it back up as soon as you get back out in the free air, because you don't want those rears to come out from underneath you. So, it can get as aggressive. I think previously I've run jacket numbers up to like 12 in traffic so the scale runs from -20 to +20. This is in big pack situations, and cold tracks with a lot of grip. You run it up to about 12 to 16 with specific bar settings in the dirty air. As soon as I get to the clear air, back to 0. Because the car is really, really set and really balanced in that clean air. You just got to manage it. The big key, and I think that's what you would have seen me doing tonight, is as soon as there was a wall of traffic ahead of me, get out of that wall of air. You have to get out of that wall of air. So whilst the fastest line around the track was actually down the bottom, particularly down in 3 and 4, as soon as there was 2 cars in front of me, the fastest line's at the wall, where there's just a bunch of clear air. So it's all about air management. You got a huge amount of aero devices on this car, and you got to keep good air going to those devices for the car to work properly.
Well, hey, look, I'm gonna tell you what, that was a lot of fun to watch. You got out front, you never gave it back up. So, looking forward to seeing how it goes. Moving forward, different set of circumstances next week at Mid Ohio. You've got push to pass. We've got different tire sets. I mean, us NASCAR guys are gonna go for a loop with all this extra stuff. So, man, congratulations on getting the win. I think you jumped in at the last minute into the series and get the victory. Shows your talent and your experience in these cars. So we definitely appreciate you showing up. And man, the floor is yours. Who you got to thank here tonight?
I want to start off with thanking everyone from the league, particularly the guys taking a risk on the IndyCar and putting something on. And I think we can proofs in the pudding. Big field for Iowa. Next week's going to be a tough race for everyone. So I really, really hope everyone turns up. You'll take a beating, but there's lessons in that. That's the key. Come looking to learn things next week, not looking to race and come away with big results. For the league, Gem Printing and Promotions, Premier Racing Setups, Veterans for Life Foundation, Cruising Classics, a big old Cruising Classic shirt in my cupboard that I love. I'm seeing some of the footage during the broadcast as well, so big shout out to those guys. Right Now Roofing, Redbeard Design Company, and then I want to say a big shout out to all the supporters that are on the car for Once at Goons. We've had the autism puzzle pieces on the front end of this thing very, very recently, just being diagnosed with stage 1 autism and ADHD. So it's really, really big to me, and Neuropower are a huge part of that, supporting neurodivergent race car drivers. They've come on board and made a huge, huge help for me. And then my personal sponsor is Marconi Setup Shops as well. So thank you very much to everyone. Thanks to you, Eddie, as well. I'm going to go back and watch this one back and enjoy it, I think.
All right. Well, there you have it. Your winner here tonight, Scott Rankin, wins the first race here in the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series. Man, I tell you what, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed that race. I know I did. That was exciting. We saw some guys flying through the air trying to take off, go to the moon. You can't do that. We got to stay on the track. And next week, going to change it up. We'll take a look at the schedule once more and see where we're headed. Mid-Ohio next week. And then if oval is your forte, well, you got to come back in the week after and watch that Indy Motor Speedway. That'll be a lot of fun. And then, Jeremy Garner talked a little bit about it. Long Beach. If you've never seen Long Beach on iRacing, Google it. I tell you what, it's a beautiful track. It puts on a beautiful race street course. And it'll be the first one that we have on the season. I think actually the only one. So Long Beach is a really, really cool track. It's got a fountain that you drive around. I mean, it's cool. So definitely come back and check that out. And then you got Gateway right there. That'll be another shorter oval. And then you got Road America, which will really stretch the legs of this Dallara IndyCar. And then Nashville for some, I imagine, going to be some wild racing there. And to finish it off on one of the most technical tracks in the world, Laguna Seca. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. I'm Eddie Smith. If you're not subscribed on V-Speed, please go subscribe. That'll be Much appreciated. Check out some other races that we got going on. But NASCAR 360 will be covering the next 2 nights. So, hey, if you're not subscribed to NASCAR 360, those guys over there do a fantastic job. So go over there and get them a subscription too, so you don't miss any Goat Locker action. I want to thank Lincoln Tech again for their sponsorship of this series, Big Fish Barbecue, and the others that have come on board. Going to be a great season, and looking forward to all of it. We'll get some more IndyCar knowledge. That way we can bring it to you and maybe try to get a little bit more caffeine in next time so I can keep up with all the how quickly things happen. Man, it's going to be a good one. I want to thank Pat and Jamie for all they do, Jake Ellingson, Ryan Pendleton for putting this series on, and all of the sponsors and partners for Goat Locker. We will see y'all next week.